Yeah, working from home. Yeah, I mean, mainly just sitting in the garden and drinking tea, you know? Oh, it's great fun. Oh, hi guys. Sorry, didn't see that. I thought I'd teach you from outside today because it's so nice. This is going to follow on from our lesson on mission statements yesterday or the day before, depending on when you watch the clip. And what we're going to be looking at is objectives. So have a little look at this. So we had a look at mission statements and how they set out the overall arching aims of the business. Okay. What we're going to look at today is how they develop into objectives. Okay. So objectives for a business, hopefully you're all aware of this, but it's things like profit. Yeah, it's things like innovation. You can be making notes on this, by the way, yeah? The whole point of this is that you're making notes, okay? So if you haven't already, you might need to just rewind. Press the rewind button, go back, get your notes, start writing. Okay, to recap then, we looked at mission statements, we're on objectives. Sometimes that could be profit, trying to make as much money as possible, or to be innovative, yeah, to do something exciting and new and different. Your objectives might focus on your market standing, so maybe gaining market share or trying to be the market leader. You could be focusing on growth, trying to be a bigger company. Your objectives might link to your corporate social responsibility. It could be that your objectives link to sustainability, or maybe you've got shareholders, in which case it'll be about how to increase your shareholder value. So there's various things that will impact upon our objectives, okay? Some of these are going to be internal, yeah, controllable from within the company. So things like our ownership, yeah. If we've got shareholders, our objectives are going to have to be linked to shareholder value, yeah. Whereas if we're a sole trader, that might be quite different. Depends on our leadership style and the culture of the business, as well as the performance, okay? So our objectives might be linked to growth, and then the coronavirus hits, and all of a sudden our performance suffers, yeah? And then we have to change our objectives to, survival, yeah? There's also external impacts on our objectives. Okay, so when we're looking at our objectives, updating them and thinking about what we want from our business, there's external impacts upon us that we can't really control. Things like society and trends and what's fashionable. The economy or external impacts, like, for example, there's this thing going on right now. It's called something. Apparently it's impacting loads of stuff. I don't really know. Anyway, could be competitors. A new competitor could enter the market, and then all of a sudden you're less about growth and it's more about, keeping your market share. Technology is a massive external impact that can change the way you do things, and might impact on your innovation, or maybe your sustainability. Okay. Couple of key things to tie into objectives. We really need to think about this phrase here, short-termism. Okay, so short-termism really refers to how you get your short-term goals achieved, yeah? And some businesses might be tempted to have a bit of a short-term approach because probably they've got shareholders and they want to increase their shareholder value, okay? Or just to make a quick buck, going back to your ownership over here, yeah? If you're the only owner, maybe you want to go on holiday. Well, that could really determine your objectives of your business. Make them a bit more short-termist so that you can go away on holiday. Talking of holidays, look at the beautiful weather today. I guess you're watching this on Friday, but I really hope that if you have a garden that you were out in it yesterday, because the sunshine is really good for you. Anyway, what was I? Oh, yeah. So there's a phrase that you've probably come across. SMART. Not just because you're smart, because you're clever, but SMART's an acronym. And so what we want to do is just remind ourselves of that acronym. So can you write down SMART? What I really need is a pointy stick. Let's go over here and find out. I've got lots of canes in my garden for hitting people with. No, it's not really. Look at that plant. It's so soft, it feels like little rabbit's ears. Anyway, so, this is quite good. And S. The S in SMART stands for, yes, you're right, it is. It's specific. Feel free to say that out loud. That means it's to the point. You can't be too vague, yeah? M, measurable. Can you measure your objective? You need to have a very clear outcome and be able to measure it to see if you have met it, okay? Otherwise, it's not an objective. A stands for, yes, you're quite right, achievable, okay? So you need to make something achievable. There's no point setting out your objective of, you see it on Dragon's Den all the time. Yeah, we're going to make £1 million profit within the next 6 months. It needs to be something that's actually achievable, which links on nicely to our R, which is realistic, okay? Then the T, objectives need to be time-based, okay? So we need to have, an end goal for when these objectives are going to be carried out, to allow us to review them and see whether we've achieved them, okay? So this acronym is actually a very widely used one, and you'll find most businesses will refer to SMART targets or SMART objectives. Okay, so get used to this word. Even if you don't study business after this, you'll still go into the world of work and people will talk about this. It's very annoying, if I'm honest. And the other word you're going to come across all the time is stakeholders. Okay, now we're not talking about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. You probably don't know who she is. I'm old. Here's my old references. It's like a TV show a long time ago about this girl who slayed vampires. So she had a stake, because obviously that's how you kill a vampire. You get a stake right through the heart. Okay, useful tips for life here, as well as a lesson on objectives. Anyway, we're not talking about that kind of stake or holding that kind of stake. It means a stake in the business, having an interest in the business. Just a quick reminder, let's not confuse stakeholders with shareholders, just because it's got the word holder in it. And it's you're not going to get confused with candle holder, yeah? Shareholders are someone who has a share in the business. Stakeholders, someone who has a stake in the business, yeah? So a stake in the business is an interest, not necessarily a part ownership, okay? And stakeholders will impact on the objectives of the business, and also the objectives of the business will impact on our stakeholders. Okay, so what I want you to do today is, hopefully you've made beautiful notes, much like, I nearly fell off the back of my step there, much like I've done here, and not on your patio, because, okay, so that was quite annoying because I went to press the little flip camera thing and I pressed stop, so now I'm going to have to merge these two clips into one, so I'm not happy right now. But, however, as I was saying, hopefully you've made beautiful notes for your folders, but don't do it on the patio. Or do it on the patio and then take a photo of it. It was a bit long though, to be honest. Once I started, I had to carry on, and then I kind of regretted it because it did take a really long time and it's hurt my fingers because the chalks are rubbish. Anyway, what I want you to do is to think about the mission statements that you found for last lesson. So you found some mission statements. What I want you to do then is to, and if you didn't, you can use the two that I had for, did I do Amazon and Nike, I think? What you can then do is I want you to think about what objectives those businesses might have, and you can do 2 or 3 different examples. And I want you to think about the impact of externals. So what external impacts are going on for those businesses? What internal things might be going on for those businesses? Okay, and I want you to think about what are their objectives. Can you work that out from those mission statements? Okay, or even from their websites. Okay, and I want you to think, what might their objectives look like if they were smart? Okay, so I'll give you one example, and I pressed the right button that time. So for example, say we were talking about Nike, yeah, and their objectives were growth and sustainability. Okay, what could be a smart target for them? Oh, I've lost my pointy stick now. What did I do with it? Oh, I put it over here. Hang on. There it is. Okay. So say I'm Nike and I want to do a sustainability objective. Okay. My specific thing is to maybe reduce waste in our factories. Okay, that's one of the things we're going to do to try and be sustainable, maybe to reduce waste so that we're impacting less on the environment, okay? But that's quite vague, so we need to be more specific. So, and it needs to be measurable, achievable, realistic and time-based. So I'm going to say within this year, okay, so that's my time-based thing, we are going to reduce waste through the disposal of garments, okay, so we're not going to throw garments away. And we're going to reduce this by, say, 10% this year. So that's measurable. Now, I mean, I don't work for that company. I don't know whether that's achievable or realistic, so I'm going to kind of guess, okay? So you might have to do some guesswork for these, okay? So what I want you to do then, so 3 examples or more if you're feeling like keen beans and you've got nothing else to do. Take 3 of the mission statements that you've already got from last lesson. I want you to think about what the objectives might be. Okay, so think about what their objectives might be. Okay, and then I want you to think about writing some objectives in smart format, as well as maybe thinking about the impact of external and internal factors on their objectives. Now, I hope that makes sense. Please do drop me a quick email if that doesn't make any sense to you and you're not quite sure what to do. Now I'm going to sit here and finish my tea. I've swapped to green tea. I'm not sure how I feel about that. And I'm going to piece together the 2 videos because I'm a numpty nana with a phone, and put them up on Firefly for you. And then I'm going to get out the paddling pool for the kid. There it is. Look, it's so small. I feel so sad for him. This is just a bit of segmentation for you on the side. This is my hose. I mean, I'd rather it was pink, obviously, but like, how cute is that? If there was ever a hose made for me, it's that. Anyway, right, over and out, people. I look forward to seeing your work. Take the weekend to do it if you need to. I'll put the deadline for all of this for Monday, so you've got a little bit of time. Take it easy, stay safe. Bye.